Well, good morning, almost afternoon, and welcome to our February Manatee Chamber Headliners Luncheon featuring the state of tourism, and maybe even more importantly, happy Valentine's Day. We're so glad you joined us today. I'd ask that in this moment, as we're getting settled, if you could please pull out your mobile devices and silence those, that would be helpful. And as you do that, I'm also asking you to please stand so that you may join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you so much. Please make yourself comfortable. My first order of business is to introduce the elected officials who have joined us this morning, and I hope that I will catch them all. From the Manatee County Commission and Port Authority, Commission Chairman Mike Ron, Commissioner George Cruz, Commissioner Ray Turner, and Commissioner Kevin Van Ostenbridge. From the City of Bradenton, Mayor Jean Brown, Councilwomen Jane Coker, Marianne Barnaby, Lisa Gonzalez-Moore, and Pam Coachman, as well as Councilman Josh Kramer. From the 12th, in a red coat too, Councilman. From the 12th Judicial Circuit, the Honorable Renee Inman. And also need to recognize, of course, our sponsors, our annual sponsors of our Headliners Luncheon that allows us to bring this type of programming to our chamber membership. Those sponsors are Florida Power and Light, Manatee Memorial Hospital, the Mosaic Company, and the Realtors Association of Sarasota Manatee, as well as our partners for decades, Manatee Educational Television. So please share your appreciation for these elected officials and sponsors. I also will recognize our platinum investors who are on our traveling banner that you all who have attended chamber events for many years know is always present. These investors donate significantly beyond their annual dues to support the mission of the Manatee Chamber, and they are Brown & Sons Funeral Home and Crematory, Carr, Riggs & Ingram, the City of Bradenton, Freedom Village of Bradenton, IMG Academy, Manatee County Government, Manatee Memorial Hospital, MCR Health and All Care Options, the Mosaic Company, NDC Commercial Real Estate, NDC Construction Company, the Pittsburgh Pirates and Bradenton Marauders, 10 days until spring training, for those of you that aren't aware. Raymond James Wealth Management, Bruce Body, the Sarasota Bradenton International Airport, Seaport Manatee, and South State Bank. Thank you all so much for your leadership level investment. I also want to recognize Terry Kinder, Executive Director of the Anna Maria Island Chamber of Commerce, who is joining us as well today from our sister chamber. So a quick intro before we break for lunch. It's no secret to any of us here living on the Sun Coast that tourism is on the rise and has been for many years. The most recent data from Visit Florida, which is our state's tourism marketing agency, reports that a record-setting number of visitors visited our state in the most recent quarterly reports, and 2023 stats show that we will once again see more than 100 million visitors in the state of Florida. A critical piece of attracting and capitalizing on tourism and visitation for our local economy is the Bradenton Area Convention and Visitors Bureau. Today, we'll hear more about the numbers and a number of exciting initiatives as well that drive a huge part of our economy and create jobs. And we also know that the strategy isn't necessarily just more, but please excuse me, Mrs. Varnador, my English teacher in high school, it's more better. And by that, I mean focusing on attracting visitors who make the biggest positive economic impact through their visit to our slice of paradise. The Manatee Chamber is so proud that both of our offices in downtown Bradenton as well as in Lakewood Ranch are official tourist information centers for Manatee County, and we view our partnership with Elliott and his team at the Bradenton Area CVB as critically important to supporting local businesses and our chamber members. So now we're going to break for lunch and let the team here at the Bradenton Country Club serve us lunch. And when we come back up to the podium, it will not be me, it will be Dev Iglesias with Florida Power and Light, who will be introducing our guest speaker as soon as we're able to serve lunch. So enjoy some networking time, and we'll be back up with you in just a few minutes.
All right, so for those who don't know me, my name is Devaney Iglesias. You guys can call me Dev. I am the regional manager for external affairs for Florida Power and Light Company, and I have the distinct pleasure of introducing our guest speaker today. FPL is both proud to be a silver investor and an annual sponsor of the Headliners Luncheons. But without further ado, let me tell you all a little bit about Elliott. Falcione, for those who mispronounce his name. He is a native of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and spent the first 6 years of his career with the Pittsburgh Pirates Baseball Club. Since then, he has spent over 30 years working for Manatee County government, 15 of those as the executive director of the Bradenton Area Convention and Visitors Bureau. He and his team are responsible for showcasing Manatee County domestically and internationally as a destination for corporate, sports, and leisure travel. He also oversees operations of the Bradenton Area Convention Center, the Powell Crosley Estate, and Premier Sports Campus. As Jackie shared earlier, tourism has a strong effect on the success of many of our local businesses and is a key driver of our local, regional, and state economies. We all are excited about the expansion and renovation underway at the Bradenton Area Convention Center, the new enhancements coming to Premier Sports Park, and exciting new community initiatives like the launch of the Gulf Islands Ferry Service. Please help me in welcoming Elliott to the podium to tell us more.
Well, it's great to see you all. Have a great Valentine's Day, and I'll see you next year. You know, I've always hated bios because I'm a really big believer of it doesn't really matter what you've done in the past, it's what you're going to do tomorrow. And we need to always keep that mindset because if we worry too much about what we've done in the past, then the pride kicks in, and that pride gets dangerous to lead into kind of selfish tendencies. So I urge you all with me to always remember that. It's such a pleasure to give a little tourism update. There's a lot going on. I would say, in short, we're running on all cylinders. And I always like to kind of try to get the blood flowing a little bit. So let's see if this works.
Embrace the laid-back charm of island life while sinking your toes in the sand and discovering real, authentic Florida in the Bradenton area. Unspoiled beauty and pristine beaches, a vibrant waterfront downtown energized by local arts and culture, fresh Floridian cuisine with a flourish of rich history, and friendly locals ready to welcome you to this preserved paradise on Florida's Gulf Coast. Plan your visit today at BradentonGulfIslands.com.
What do y'all think? Just a little snippet of a spot that we do. We really don't do too many television commercials, but videos, 1-minute videos, are really, really important to society. Most important thing that I could tell you all is we may be the most well-diverse coastal Florida destination you'll find. Diverse assets. It helps us sustain tourism 12 months a year. So important. So many communities on coastal Florida are not, don't have that luxury. Of course, it's pretty simple. The vacationers are 80% of our business. The sports segment is 15%. Out of that leisure, about 15% is your international visitors. There it is, the void. The group corporate, only 5%. With the convention center expansion model, that'll go up to about 10 to 12%. I don't expect it to go any higher than 15, just to manage expectations as well. Who are we targeting? This is really important. We're not a destination that appeals to millennials or Gen Zs. We are a couples family destination, and we always target women. Yes, ladies, you are the influencers, you're the decision maker in almost every case in the household. So we're right around that 40 to 65 range. The household income, from those of you who were here last year, we've pushed that to 130,000. You'll see why. And then the summer season, the drive market, it's going to come down a little bit because the affordability is a little bit better there as well. There's the reason why our target has changed. Look, when we launched the brand around 2012, and then all of a sudden, when we realize the assets that we have and the people that can afford it, we can target them and bring that money into our community. And look at the growth. I'll tell you what, 133,000 household income is pretty good, because if we're doing our job and we're bringing that visitor in, we know they're going to fall in love with the destination. They'll make it their family tradition. And then guess what happens? They're going to say, honey, let's buy a part-time home. Let's go ahead and move here. Let's buy a business. That conversion is how our community grows. That's how Florida has grown. So I'm the weird tourism director that likes the less is more theory. Get the right visitor in. Don't cast that net out and say, come one, come all. Everybody's welcome. But we want the people that come in to be able to afford our assets that are here, right? I've mentioned it. If I'm buying a Maserati, I'm probably not targeting somebody that can only afford a Chevy or a Hyundai or even a Toyota, right? So if I'm selling a Maserati. Okay, there's the visitors there. Now look at the commercial lodging in the blue. Look at the day trippers. Okay, so you're going to be really shocked about this. And then the overnight with friends, relatives, that's relatives that are staying in your house. We're starting to see more and more people that say, hey, Uncle Johnny and Aunt Sally, we're happy you're visiting, but we're going to put you in that hotel right down the street. It really is happening more and more. And that's a good thing, because they'll convert to a commercial lodging. But watch this. 75% of our economic impact are the commercial visitors. It's that big. It kind of gets worse on how we drill down here. Okay, overall visitors, see, we're still trending really north here. We didn't, look how we did on red tide, severe red tide in 2017. We still did better than most other coastal destinations that were dealing with the same red tide, because we were able to shift gears and push more sports segment into the area. The ongoing redevelopment of the urban core has played a part of that. The evolution of East County, Parish, and Lakewood Ranch has played a part in that. We weathered COVID, only about 10% down. Put that up against any other Florida destination, and we were leader there. Power of the brand is really what helps us weather that adversarial occurrences, and then the diverse assets as well. And then we're trending pretty good here. Remember, we came out of, in 2021-22, extreme, unprecedented, pent-up domestic demand for travelers coming in, like never seen before. And our hotel sales directors, and some of them are in here, in the past year, we kind of said, look, it's not going to stay that way. It's going to tail off. So all of a sudden, we get calls past 6 months saying, oh my gosh, the market is starting to soften. Well, of course it's going to start softening, because those domestic visitors are now going to the European markets because they hadn't been there since COVID, since pre-COVID. The blessing is with that getting back to normalcy, now you're seeing a recovery of the international market as well. First-time visitors, this is the best practices. Keep in mind, and it's all staff, it has nothing to do with me. We are one of 1,300 tourism bureaus that are accredited through Destination Marketing Association International. It's like getting a doctorate degree. It is 2 big binders, and they ask you a million questions. But at the end of the day, we want that accreditation because we can tell our stakeholders we understand best practices in our industry. And now we're in the process of getting reaccredited, and that'll be for a 7-year period. But best practices will tell you, if your brand is penetrating the market like it should, you should be bringing in at least 25% first-time visitors. Okay? Once again, the power of the brand, 2013, you know, we were just about getting there. We launched the brand, and now look how it's penetrating. Okay, and this is a great percentage right here, almost 36%. Well, it's the best in a long time since right here. I'm having trouble seeing the screen. Really, really important that the brand is penetrating. Now, take it a step further. We asked for more marketing dollars for the first time since my first year as the director of tourism. And I told the commissioners, I said, look, the good news is I'm not a marketing guy, because if you ask any marketing person if you need more money in your budget, I know the answer is always going to be yes. Okay? So come see the non-marketing guy, and you're going to have to work like hell to rationalize why you need more money. And the reason is, you'll see with the growth of the nonstop flights. There's the economic impact. Now, here's where the rubber meets the road. Look at what in the blue here, commercial lodging's bringing to the community. Okay, and look at the day trippers are bringing in. So how do we get the day trippers to drop some more money when they're in our county? At the end of the day, we're looking for that, okay? Because they're part of being in the roads and all that. Do we embrace everybody coming in? Absolutely. But we got to figure out a way to pick their pocket a little bit. Is that a bad terminology there, counselor? While they're here, it's kind of a wow, isn't it? The difference, okay? Even the overnight stays, the friends and relatives, but we're seeing more of a conversion into commercial lodging as well. Okay, here's who we're marketing to. Emerging markets, Minneapolis, St. Paul is going to be a good one. You're going to see Dallas and Houston's really going to be growing over the next 3 to 5 years. Connecticut was our most underserved state in the union, and now we got Avelo and Breeze Airlines running that as well. Ontario is always our hotspot in Canada. That's that Toronto regional area. Air Canada started for the first time since COVID. And they'll run service until May 1st. So that market will get more ripe. And then you'll see the United Kingdom and Central Europe is really getting better. There's our top feeder markets. No surprise, the drive market, St. Pete, Orlando. New York is one of two what I call mature markets that we target. New York being one, Pittsburgh being another. I'll share with you how we handle marketing with that. These Midwest markets are really attributed to the growth of Allegiant Airlines, Southwest Airlines, mainly are those two airlines that have really helped us rebuild. This is my favorite report, where we can sit with the marketing team and say, okay, what markets are working? What markets are bringing, more money to the table, et cetera. So let me just give you an example here. So you have the population, you have the party size, the per cap spend, the length of stay, your economic contribution, your fly drive ratio right there, and your household income, your average age. It doesn't get any better than this for a destination marketing person. So if at some point you only have so many marketing dollars, so you got to pick your poison. It's like buying stocks, where you got to say, where are we going to invest our money to get the highest return of visitors? And this is one way of doing it. That is hot off the press. And there's the bottom part. You'll see California, Los Angeles. So you got a little bit of impact coming in there. We're going to start some public relations in Los Angeles as early as May. We did that around 2017 in Dallas when we didn't have a nonstop flight. And our public relations brand penetrated a lot faster than we thought. That triggered American Airlines to say, you know what, we're going to start that nonstop Dallas to SRQ. If anybody's taken that flight, it's 2.5 hours. It's unbelievable. You don't have to go to Tampa International anymore. So read between the lines. We're starting PR in LA because we're going after LA as a nonstop market. And I'm going to be positive we're going to get there. It's not an if, it's a when. And there is an airline or two that can bring that to Sarasota Bradenton Airport. Emerging markets, it's usually always triggered by, I've always said it, follow the nonstop flights. And there it is. You all saw it last year. Plattsburgh was just added last Friday. That's Allegiant nonstop. It's probably their longest nonstop flight, just south of Montreal. It's right on a lake, pretty great destination to consider in the dead of summer here, where you can fly up there, enjoy it. Look where we were. Oops. In 2018. I mean, look at that. And Mark Stuckey, Mark, raise your hand. Mark is the second in command of Sarasota Braden Airport. We travel together all the time. Y'all, he is the highest maintenance executive I've ever worked with. He is regimented. He should have been in the military. He's a pain in the ass. I love him like a brother. But I tell you what, he is the most accredited, educated, brilliant airport executive that I've ever crossed paths with. We are blessed to have him. And Mark, sincerely, I hope you're here for a long time. You're doing great things working with that Rick Piccolo guy. And then Helen, and Emma and Susan, his team that does all his work. Thank you all for being here.
Could you go back to the other screen real quick?
Yes, of course. Stand by, please. Are you taking a picture of that? Do you want me in it? Thank you.
Thank you.
My old pirate boss said there was never a camera or microphone that I didn't like. I think he's a jerk. And for the record, that's Dennis Dupre for the cameras. Okay, so we have new flights. How do we attack the market? Pretty basic principles. You start off with public relations to soften the market. So you go into the marketplace, you do desk sides, you bring in familiarization tours. This is out on Anna Maria Island because the journalist wants to come in and experience the destination. They come in, they experience it, they go back to the market that we're targeting, and they'll write a story about it. So if you're sitting in Plattsburgh, New York, then all of a sudden you read an article about this place called Anna Maria Island or the Bradenton area, and you're curious. So once the curiosity is in your brain, you come right behind that with a campaign promotion or what we call an activation. And now you start blitzing the market. This may have been outside of a hockey game as people are coming in, because the hockey market is a lot of women, the right household income, the right demographic. This little spa here is, yes, we do. We will take over a spa. Remember, we're targeting women, and we'll bring female travel writers, invite them into the spa to get their nails done for free. And we got them there. Jackie, it takes an hour to get your nails done. So I got Jackie for an hour, immersing her into the destination. And yes, it works. So hence the company across the water. So we'll entertain 30 travel writers, and honestly, the ROI on that, you'll get 20 to 22 saying, hey, I want to come to the Bradenton area and write a story. Very, very unique as well. This was a partnership with the Hartford Athletic soccer team in Hartford. Not only did they put their brand on their uniforms, but there was a lot of brand awareness in the stadium as well. Then you get into digital advertising. Really simple. 87% of targeting the marketplace is through digital advertising, and that's where you can zero down to a zip code, an age group, a religion, a party, anything. It's creepy because then you get all the analytics, and now we know who we're targeting. Brand is very, very consistent. You're always careful about compromising the brand, and then behind that is your social media. And I just looked at this before we go to that. So here is our mature markets. So majority digital advertising, almost all cases. But when you have a mature market, you've penetrated that market well enough, like in New York, or Pittsburgh, then you can get away with what we call out-of-home advertising or traditional advertising. So that was actually Times Square brand element, because that market has seen it, they understand it. So we want that top of mind reminder. Don't forget about us. When you're freezing your butt off, you know where to go to enjoy what's west of us. And then, of course, PNC Park, that is in partnership with the Pittsburgh Pirates. What the commissioners give to the city of Bradenton annually, the Pirates give us back in kind, dollar for dollar. And we did a promotion with them where sunglasses were given out to the fans with our brand as well. And then the social media, that's really, really important. And we're doing pretty well there with, over north of 100,000 followers. And then the Instagram, 31,000 followers is pretty good. The Instagram is superseding the Facebook. We're still targeting boomers. Slowly, we're targeting them less. We're Gen X's and millennials now are starting to surface as our target market. Okay, just some of the growth with the accommodations. If y'all haven't been to Mello, it's like something out of the Barbie movie. Just go right down end of Manatee Avenue, and it's right on the left. It is a really special place managed by Mainsail under Joe Collier, who owns the Mainsails all over the state of Florida and the Caribbean. Doubletree, that was the Holiday Inn Airport on the north side, so that was just reflagged to Doubletree Hilton. That is an upgrade. We're really, really excited. If you haven't been in there, that's like something out of Atlanta, that vestibule. Home to Lakewood Ranch was open this past calendar year. It was really great to get another property right off the interstate. And then that little hotel in Palmetto that's hot off the press a week ago, here we go, is Palmetto Marriott Resort and Spa designation. And it's the first resort and spa destination that was not a beach location in the Marriott system. So Tony DeRusso, who you've met, worked really hard on that. So that'll be number 2 on the west coast of Florida for Marriott Resort and Spa. The other one is Sanibel Island, because there's going to be a beach resort at the lake in Riviera Dunes, as well as a 3,000 square foot spa. Look at the growth. So you compare it to Sarasota and Manatee. So Sarasota was chugging along pretty good, but look how Manatee County caught up. Okay, so once again, you have good brand position. You have assets that are being developed that's driving tourism during non-peak times. You have different vacation markets that are diversified. It's not all Northeast heavy, it's Midwest, it's now coming in West, and your international, that causes that market to want to see growth. So there you go. It's not that Sarasota's doing anything bad. It's not that Bradenton's doing, Manatee County doing much better, but it's how the Tourist Development Council and the Board of County Commissioners have really spent their money and looked at seasonality of where they spend it that caters to 12 months a year. It's so important. I couldn't tell you how so many destinations don't think that way. Okay? Occupancy rate. Now, all that capacity, look at all the rooms that were added. Okay, you're looking at, I think, almost 4,000 rooms, but you still maintain good occupancy rate. Look, it should have started really nosediving. Now, we know why it came down here coming out of red tide, and then, with COVID. But look, boom, with all that extra capacity, it's really, really good. And then followed by that is the average daily rate. Look at the growth. I mean, that's incredible. That's incredible for Manatee County to have that kind of average daily rate with all that extra rooms. It's saying there's still pent-up demand there. And what best practices is, if you have an adverse situation, you don't want your short-term rental companies to compromise the rates. They did that at the oil crisis in Orlando, and it took them 4 years to get the rates back that they gave up during that time. You got to hang in there. Here is the commercial lodging. Okay, so the brown is domestic, and then you can see where we fell off in the international market during COVID. And then you had that extreme domestic pent-up demand that increased the rates of Anna Maria Island and Longboat Key. So what our global affairs office had to do was go to tour operators that catered to a higher demographic clientele. So you had to shift gears quickly that can afford, now it's almost luxury properties. And now you can see the water starting to turn on there. When it gets back to normalcy, you'll see that number double. Okay, and you should see that sometime in the next 2 years. Okay, total economic impact, yeah, we're in the B now, $2 billion in economic impact based on tourism. And that is all hotel, motel, condos. Yeah, they do collect the bed tax at campgrounds as well. For those of you who don't know that, that does not include, we do not track snowbirds at all. Sometimes you'll see a lot of Ontario license plates in our community. They're probably snowbirds, okay? We don't really tell the community like we should. We talk about tourism tax, but it generates, the visitor also generates almost 85 million in sales tax. So take that away, and our third-party research would say, hey, for the county to maintain your community services, and you take tourism out of the mix, then they may have to pay additional $524 a year to maintain those services. So pretty neat statistics there. There it is right there to maintain the same level of services. So for 57 visitors, that equals one full-time job in the county, a hospitality job. And that is where our friends with University of South Florida Hospitality School is really, really important for us to be able to get those students out of the classroom, hands-on into the hospitality industry and get them full-time jobs, because you can see now we're still seeing growth in the hospitality. And the challenges, and the commissioners are addressing it, is workforce housing. You know, how do we get these entry-level hospitality workers to be able to afford to live here? It's terrible, but when you interview somebody, you pray that they have a roommate, or you pray that they're married, so you have multiple incomes coming in for them to be able to live here. Because if they're driving too far with the hours they work, it's really, really tough. Okay. Sports segment is 15%. That's a $300 million business. Just to give you a couple examples, first time, we've always wanted to partner with IMG using IMG Academy and Premier Sports Campus. It finally happened last November. Look at it, folks, 450 teams. And then look at the economic impact for those 2-3 days. It's incredible what that brings. I think Jason Bart's daughter played in that, and he was so happy he didn't have to go to Orlando. There is another one, Super Copa Soccer, almost 200 teams at the tune of $13 million total economic impact. Look at the time of the year, June, November. That's when we need a little bit of push to keep our small businesses running and sustainable. There it is. We're almost becoming the golf mecca of Manatee County. World Champions Cup. They just renewed 3-year deal. We have meetings with WCC tomorrow. So 24 and 25 will be at the concession, and then 28. We were on ESPN Plus and ABC, 220 million households in 170 countries. How about that event right in this place right here, in Elliott Quarter? Do y'all know it? So she was down 3 holes at hole 17, and she came back and she won it. Unbelievable. A special thanks to, I'll tell you what, a lot of people worked hard to get that here. Commissioner Van Ostenbridge, he was calling me left and right to make sure that we were doing all we could to get that converted. Mayor Brown, Bob Spencer, it was all hands on, and the LPGA was really, really happy. We were on the Golf Channel here as well. What a special event. So we'll see if that comes back next year as well. Some other tidbits that we'll go through here, and then we'll wind it down, is going back to the airport. So we're still one of the fastest growing airports in the country based on that kind of growth. Crazy numbers, crazy numbers, 4.3 million passengers. Compare that to Jacksonville. Jacksonville's 5.4, 5.5. So we are catching up to a city like Jacksonville. That's pretty incredible. Here's what Elliott's subjective opinion, Mark may disagree with me, he may agree with me, but I think over the next 3 years, that's going to be your 3 fastest growing airlines at SRQ. Those 6 gates that will be added, Allegiant's going to use most of them, and then Breeze will use them here in their Sun Country, Avello. Southwest is chomping at the bit to get some more gate space. So you add 6 to the ground level that'll open in December. That'll free up 3 airside gates to be able to expand the Southwest Airlines, the Breeze Airlines, etc. This expansion is going to be unbelievable. The food and beverage here is going to be a taste of our locals. The Paul Madisons, the Anna Maria oyster bars. It's going to be able to use for community events because a lot of the ultra low cost carriers aren't flying every day. So the airport's going to open it up, and it'll actually be a kind of a hybrid space that our community will be able to use. I expect to see some chamber events there. Yeah, there it is. The headache is over, commissioners. We are up and sailing, now in service. Capacity's been good, north of 40 people per leg. We just added Bridge Street last week. When the winds are too rough, we're going to err on the side of caution. I've told the media, we could bring the Super Bowl to Bradenton, and the media is still going to be more interested in the water ferry. I can promise you that. It's incredible how curious That guy over there, he was asking me more about the water ferry than anything else. So it's up and running, but I tell the media, it's like flying a jet. If the weather's inclement and they feel like they can't fly, they're not gonna fly. Safety of the passengers is paramount over everything else. Now, moving forward with this, we're hoping to tell the media and the community in about a week or so, we're gonna add Wednesdays and Thursdays to the system. Can you imagine if we're going out to Anna Maria Island in 3 weeks from now on a Thursday, and there's traffic, and those water ferries are sitting at the dock? That can't happen. So they're hiring more captains and training, and then we're gonna look to add Coquina Beach, and that'll be great for the residents. And then we're looking to add North Longboat Key, probably around the shore, Mar Vista area. And then we're working on bringing it to the convention center as well. So stay tuned. There are decisions made daily, but I can tell you what, the social media is really positive, and we got every zip code of everybody that goes on that ferry, so we're tracking really well. Lecom Park, Pittsburgh Pirates are into their 55th spring training, started today. Really, really excited. Baseball's in the air, but working with the city of Bradenton, the Pittsburgh Pirates, the Board of County Commissioners. The commissioners put $5 million into a third full baseball field called City Park. McKechnie Field was called City Park 100 years ago, and I didn't know that. Foley Bryant, Stu's in the back, designed that, so we're hoping sometime in the fall of 2025, we'll have a third field. Why is that important? It gives us the opportunity to bring high school, college baseball tournaments in to feed that corridor that desperately needs redevelopment. But when you redevelop it, you need new monies coming in 12 months a year for those businesses to be sustainable. It's as simple as that. There's the resort and spa. We're looking at the spring of 24. I could tell you there are a lot of workers in there every day. Stay tuned. I'm hoping mid-April to early May, we'll have a soft opening there. It's going and blowing. For someone like me, who's been at that building for 30 years, it's really, really surreal. There's the mess right there. All the foundations are in for the expansion and the connector. You'll probably see some steel go up in the next 3 to 4 weeks. Really, really excited. There's a shot. That north parking lot is now finished. This is a good time to do a commercial. I think your chamber dinner is going to be there. Y'all hang in there. This is an exercise initiative. So you're going to park right here, and we're going to close off that right lane with police cars blocking both sides, and you're going to walk into the main arena. Because right now, we're not going to be able to go this way probably for 3 to 4 months. Remember, the board has empowered us and urged us to do all we can to keep the convention center open for the community during this project, okay? So if we closed it, there may not be anywhere to go. So we're keeping it open. We're like Paramount Pictures every event, but we're excited that the project should be finished basically this time next year. Another great thing is the new art center. Of course, here's the old art center. This will be 20,000 square foot, 2-story, that you'll have nice exhibits. We'll be able to showcase that when we're bringing convention attendees in. And then this beautiful garden, art garden, will be adjacent to that. The Board of County Commissioners has about $1 million into that project as well. And then, hot off the press, we've been wanting to do this for a while, and with the expansion and the hotel, remember the holiday gift market with the junior leaguers? It was a great event. I see some junior leaguers here. And I was really, really sad when the president, I forget who she was, came up to me and said, you know what, we're going to stop doing the holiday gift market because we just don't have enough of members to plan it. And that was sad, but that's the reality of a lot of nonprofits. So as I travel around Europe on business, and it's very difficult and very stressful, just to preface that. Charlie, that was funny, okay. We're gonna do the first annual European holiday market the day after Christmas, Black Friday, and it is gonna be all European style artisans, themed totally. Leah Braun, where's Leah Braun? She is our hired creator. It is more than I've ever imagined. It's gonna be something out of Universal Studios. We have support from the Board of County Commissioners, and the key is for it to be an annual event year after year to bring people to that area that may not have come if it wasn't for this event. And once we get them there, they're going to say, wow, let me bring my convention here, as well as it'll be an infusion of new dollars into the convention centers, because convention centers are usually subsidized. So that'll help. We're hoping to create a few more events other times of the year, but that won't be till 26. And coincidentally, I think the chamber is going on a European European trip. So great minds think alike. Is that what you said, Leah? So yeah, so you'll come back and hopefully you'll experience what you experienced over in Europe as well. Let me just mention a few more things. First, I'm so blessed to do what I do and the support that I know a lot of you all give me, and it's humbling. Many of you know that I'm not the smartest guy that you'll get to know, but I'm smart enough to surround myself with really intelligent people, creative people. And if I'm a good leader, then I'm going to give them the tools, the education, the environment, and the empowerment to go get their job done, and know that they may fail from time to time. We like being bold. We won't fail the same thing twice. But I attribute that mindset to the leaders of this community. And you all know I'm not a political guy. Never will go there. But when people are doing things right, then we need to let people know from Elliott in my world how great things are going. Because if I didn't have that leadership, you wouldn't have seen all this success with us being a very little piece of the puzzle. So with the Tourist Development Council, I know Mayor Braun is on the TDC. Ray Turner, Commissioner Turner's my new TDC chair. I'll tell you, I got to be candid. He is the most badass commissioner that I've ever met. Yeah, oh yeah, well, hands down. I want to bring him as my Secret Service when I'm traveling. Look at him. Yeah, he's cut, you know. But you know what? He's a good listener. No disrespect, Commissioner Satcher, who was my TDC chair. Yeah, LA Fitness will probably be a good start for you. No, I'm kidding. He knows I love him, you know. So, but with the Board of County Commissioners' support, and let me get back to candor here. Where I get excited about coming to work is the commissioners embrace tourism. They believe in the process and they trust what we're doing. Okay. They trust someone like me so much, you don't want to let them down. But when you trip, Elliott's the first one to let them know. And I tell you what, that doesn't happen in government very often. And now with the leadership of Charlie Bishop, give it up for Charlie Bishop, our new county administrator. And then they call them DCAs, these acronyms, Deputy County Administrators. Andy Butterfield, Brian Parnell, who's my boss, Commander, always a pleasure, 23-year vet in the Navy, veteran, and Andy Butterfield as well, and then Courtney DePaul, who is a passionate young lady who I gotta slow her down sometimes because I say that in a very positive way. She thinks she's a get done type of person. Now, one of our rookies in here now he's giving me that look. Carrie Knight, the new Director of Property Management. Give it up for Carrie Knight. Coming from Key West, the Keys, Monroe County. I didn't ask him if he had a belly button ring, but there's a possibility. Hazing is appropriate, but I tell you what, I spent a half a day with Carrie. Brilliant guy. He is going to do some great things here. Really excited to work with you. Really appreciative that you decided that Manatee County was a place to work. And then finally, a new guy working for us, Keenan Singleton, who is our communications manager. He's a pro, has a lot of years of journalism experience. That's why I had him here. Don't say out of your mouth what I say a lot. It just won't work for you. But Keenan's a true pro, and he's a great guy. So with that, Jackie, I think I'm out of time. Do we have time for one or two questions, and then I think we're gonna raffle something off. The chicken is now, you're coming off the chicken high. Yes.
So, social media, what hashtags do we use to promote our own Anna Marie Island or whatever?
Yeah. Bradenton Gulf Islands is the go to BradentonGulfIslands.com, and then you'll see all of our social media platforms. because my hesitation is there's different hashtags for different components that all integrate. We just flipped the switch on our new website last week. So I urge you all, you kind of gave me a segue to go to our new website. We're playing with it and hopefully there's no bugs in it. It meets best practices. But we have social media platforms for the ferry now. We have a dining social media platform. So I urge you to go to the BradentonGulfIslands.com and yes, hashtag us, follow us, and it's a good thing. Yes, Dev.
With all of the travel coming in, how important, or have you heard feedback about our infrastructure and our roads and the traffic?
Yeah, we were probably before COVID, we were starting to get some negative comments about how crowded the roads were, mainly going to the island. And it's contrary to our brand elements. But control the controllables is how you respond. We still have a 94% satisfaction rate from the visitors that participate. Our third-party research does surveys all the time at the beach, in the urban core, et cetera. And the way you mitigate that is what the commissioners are doing. For them to be bold and saying, hey, we're doing a water ferry service, come hell or high water, and we're using tourism tax proceeds and a little bit of beach concession monies to get that done. Guess what? It's working. Now, there may be an initial intrigue of residents that may try it and may not continue to use it. I don't know. But we're going to work like heck to get the cars off the roads, utilizing that Manatee River asset, and just continue to hack away at the enhancement of multimodal transportation. But we're empowered to go get it done, go after it. And that's the best that we can do. At the same time, working with 3 island cities and then 2 in the urban core, there's a lot of governments involved. But you learn with experience, and Charlie has it, and the deputy county administrators are so professional that you meander through those bureaucracies, if there is any, not just the people, because the people are really good, but some ordinances in the cities may be different from the counties. So you just got to learn how to push and meander through that. And we're getting there. Really, really excited about the water ferry. And we're working on a 3rd water ferry that would be all indoor with maybe a deck that would go just from downtown to the island. And then the pontoon catamarans would just be a hopper up and down the island. And then at that point, we're in a whole different level. Well, thank you so much. I need a massage on my neck now, but that's all good. It's great seeing you all. I'll leave at this. Do I have a minute? I don't. I'm gonna anyway. The music will start coming up, right? Let's look forward and let's always reflect on the God-given talent that is instilled in us and apply. We can all say we're doing our job and doing our routine. We're better than that. And know there's a dark power that's always going to try to throw us off track when we're doing something good. So take the God that you believe in and focus on him and not that dark power that's going to throw you off. And I promise you, we'll all apply our God-given abilities. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Elliott, and the Bradenton Area CVB team. As you all know, tourism is critically important, and I learned something today, even with our role as tourist information centers. There's so much positive, not just happening now, but on the horizon. Once again, I want to thank our headliner sponsors, Florida Power and Light, Manatee Memorial Hospital, the Mosaic Company, and the Realtors Association of Sarasota Manatee. Thank you so much to our friends at METV. This will be able to be seen by those who weren't able to join us today. We've got a couple of slides that will tell you a bit about what's coming up next. And I'll tell you that our March headliners is going to feature one of the professors from University of South Florida talking about AI in a different way that we've offered up to you through trainings and seminars. So you'll want to join us on March 20th for our next headliner series. And then I'll give one plug for Project Teach, which is coming up on March 14th, where the Manatee Chamber will send a business volunteer into every 4th grade class in Manatee County. And our hope is that we're talking with kids early and often about career opportunities that are right here with your companies. So we're much more likely to get them to stay here or come back to be the talent pipeline that we all need. So we'll need about 170 volunteers for Project Teach to reach every fourth grade class in Manatee County. And as of this morning, we had 159. So we're almost there. So, okay, Jill McGarry, sign her up. So with that, there is a coffee bar if you'd like to grab a cup of coffee as you're finishing up your networking. Thank you so much to the great team here at the Bradenton Country Club. Have a great afternoon, and I'll see some of you tomorrow at the Bradenton Area Convention Center for the Chamber's 61st annual dinner. What a Chamber of Commerce week. Thank you, guys.